and welcome to another MOOG demo library. In this video we're going to get oriented with how the sequencer of Labyrinth works. Labyrinth contains two sequencers. Each has 8 steps, and each are driven by the internal tempo, but they also have clock inputs, so you can clock them differently from external sources. Let's start by clearing out the sequencers by just holding buffer and reset. And let's start by building just a basic rhythm. You can turn a step on or off with bit flip and move through the sequencer with advance. So let's turn on a couple steps, and you can go back to the beginning with reset to reset both sequencers back to step 1. Now let's hear how this rhythm sounds. Every time you flip a bit in Labyrinth's sequencer on, a random voltage is generated between -5 and +5 volts and stored at that bit. In this way, Labyrinth generates random melodies from the rhythms that you input. As we increase the Seq1 CV range knob, we can start to transform this rhythm into a melody. With Seq1 CV range set lower, we'll get sequences covering at only an octave or so, and as we turn it up, we'll increase the range of the sequencer up to a full 10 octaves. As the sequencer is playing through, we can play with bit flip to turn bits on and off as the playhead goes over the steps, creating new rhythms on the fly. And since Labyrinth is generating a new voltage every time a bit is switched on, we generate new melodies at the same time. Press bit shift to rotate all of the bits, 1 bit, and press length to change the length of your sequence. The corrupt control introduces a further element of randomness to your sequences. Set all the way down, the sequence will play as normal. And as you increase corrupt, the random voltages stored at each bit will change. As you increase corrupt above noon, the bits themselves will start to flip on and off, changing the rhythm as well. When you hear something you like, you can turn corrupt all the way down to lock it in. When you have a sequence you like, you can press and hold buffer to save it in memory. Now when you play back the sequence, you'll have the sequence, and you can raise corrupt to begin to mutate that sequence over time, either preserving the rhythm with corrupt below noon, or totally changing the rhythm with corrupt above noon. If you have something you like, you can turn corrupt down to lock it into place, and press buffer to recall your original sequence. Finally, you can chain both sequencers together to get one sequence of up to 16 steps. Let's set the length of the first sequence back to 8, hit chain sequence, and now we can play with a full 16-step sequencer. With its deep generative sequencer, Labyrinth is a happy accident machine whose patterns bloom over time, but can be locked into place whenever you encounter something striking.